Question 10 has been asked by the Honourable C.P. Mulder. The question is, considering the basic minimum programme of priorities of the Statement of Intent for the 2024 Government of National Unity, which identifies the importance of rapid, inclusive and sustainable economic growth, the encouragement of fixed capital investment and industrialisation, along with job creation as key focus areas for the 7th administration, what new economic policies have he and the Cabinet developed since the formation of the GNU on July 3, 2025, to achieve the specified focus areas? The Honourable President.
Thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker. The Medium-Term Development Plan really is the main plan that the government has put in place to foster economic development. And the main elements of the economic strategy that are outlined in the Medium-Term Development Plan are embedded in that plan, and the apex priority of the MTDP is to achieve inclusive growth and job creation. That is the key focus. This plan is underpinned by a stable macroeconomic framework which creates a conducive environment for long-term investment. To achieve higher levels of economic growth, we are in many ways undertaking massive investment in infrastructure and upgrading our maintenance activities. Now, in the budget speech delivered by the Minister, he confirmed that public infrastructure spending, as I said earlier, in the next 3 years will amount to 1 trillion rand. He noted that allocations towards capital investment remains the fastest growing area of spending, ensuring that we use our resources to foster and to support growth. And with this, public spending on infrastructure will be complemented by the reforms that we are and have embarked upon to the regulatory framework to enable public-private partnerships, as well as streamlining infrastructure financing and project preparation mechanisms to be firmly installed and implemented. Now, a further pillar of our economic strategy is to support sectors with high potential for growth and job creation. This includes growing our key export sectors like mining and agriculture, while developing new industries such as renewable energy, where we are continuing to distinguish ourselves, electric vehicles, and green hydrogen, and harnessing our unique advantages in the green economy. And we are strengthening the capacity of the state, which is another key pillar of the Medium-Term Development Plan, including turning around the financial and operational performance of state institutions and improving delivery at local government level. We are focusing on how we should be able to strengthen local government. And we are working in partnership with business and alongside other social partners to promote employment through public and social employment, where work experience and training initiatives are made available to those who participate in our public work programs. Our public work programs are aimed at bringing in not only young people, but people who are also beyond 35, to be able to give them either skills or training possibilities so that they are able to support their own livelihoods. Finally, we are implementing structural reforms to increase efficiency as well as competitiveness while addressing constraints on job creation. Now, the second phase of Operation Vulindlela, with the first phase having been quite successful, is an important part of our strategy to drive more rapid and inclusive economic growth, and also to make sure that we implement this second phase with a great deal of vigor, having learned from the experience of implementing Vulindlela 1. This will be achieved by sustaining the momentum that has already been developed and following through on the implementation of the existing reforms that are beginning to demonstrate their full impact. And this includes, for instance, transforming the electricity sector to achieve energy security, creating a world-class logistics system to support export growth, investing in water infrastructure to ensure water security, and to reform the visa regime or system to attract skills as well as investment. Now, the reform agenda is being expanded into new areas to improve the performance of local government and to create dynamic and integrated cities that will be able to lead economic activity and also to harness digital public infrastructure as a driver of growth and inclusion. Now, as part of this next phase of reform, Cabinet recently approved the ambitious digital transformation roadmap to leverage digital public infrastructure as being part and parcel of our growth program, focusing on digital identity, digital payments, data integration, and digital services as well. Now, this may sound very ambitious, but we are determined as the Government of National Unity to execute all this. Now, at the direction of Cabinet, the Presidency and National Treasury are working to develop an integrated economic growth strategy which will bring together these interventions in a coherent, focused, and carefully prioritized manner. We will soon be having that discussion, and in the end, this strategy discussion will bring together, as I say, the various threads that we have identified to foster economic growth in our country. There is absolute agreement within the Government of National Unity that achieving growth and job creation is our most important and urgent priority. There's no other priority that is as important as this one, and we will be focusing on all this in all its ramifications that include, for instance, making our country safer, dealing with criminality, dealing with corruption, dealing with wasteful expenditure, and all of this will then lead to engendering the growth that our economy deserves. I thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker.
The first supplementary question, before I proceed, Honourable Paulson, on what point are you rising?
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker, it's not a point, but to my knowledge, there are members here and there are chamber staff. What is the status of those two gentlemen there in front? What do they do here?
They are part of the gallery.
Not in the gallery, they're in the chambers.
Honourable Paulson, I will
Gallery's
ask.
over there.
Honourable
What are they doing in the
Paulson,
chambers?
we will inquire. We will inquire.
But why do you,
Honourable
but why were
Paulson,
you so arrogant? Couldn't you say that instead of telling me that that's not the
well,
gallery?
because I believe they're in
The gallery's
gallery.
over there.
Honourable Paulson, I have now said we will inquire. We will now proceed. The first supplementary question will be asked by the Honourable Mulder.
Thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker. Thank you, Honourable President, for a very comprehensive reply, an impressive reply, making it very clear all the steps that are being taken by government. And if there's one thing that the Government of National Unity, I think, have in common is the commitment to economic growth. And a lot of things, the things that you mentioned this afternoon is in terms of Operation Vulindlela. And we accept that, and if I understand it correctly, it means to open the way, but the way is not open. There's a problem with the way, with all due respect. I want to say that if you look at the World Bank's report, it clearly indicates that the average growth at the moment for developing countries is around 4%. If you look at the top 10 African countries, the growth rates there vary between the lowest 5.9% to 7.9%. Even in terms of all the things that you have now mentioned this afternoon, your own Minister of Finance in the budget last week indicated that our current growth rate is 1.4, hopefully next year 1.6, despite all the programs, hopefully in the year thereafter 1.8%. Our unemployment is 32%. Something is wrong. There's a huge problem. And the problem, Honourable President, is that all the issues that you mentioned, and all the wonderful programs and the investments, as far as I'm concerned, are based on the current economic policy of government, the underlying economic policy. Now, that's why I asked the question specifically, are you prepared to take the initiative and to take the necessary steps to amend, to develop an economic policy that can make possible real economic growth in South Africa? Because that's what we need. If we don't have real economic growth, none of the programs that you've mentioned will be successful, none of them will be implemented. But that real new economic policy, as far as I'm concerned, needs to take a different approach with regard to certain basic things that I don't know if you're prepared to do that with regard to black economic empowerment, with regard to equity, employment equity.
Thank you, Honourable Mulder. Your time has expired.
And expropriation without compensation. Are you prepared to do that? Thank you, sir.
The President.
Thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker. I did say that the Government of National Unity is going to spend a considerable amount of hours in a number of days to come just discussing the economic strategy and trajectory that we should pursue. Our ambition, Honourable Member, Dr. Mulder, is to make sure that our economy grows higher than what the projections are currently. That is our ambition. And the medium-term development plan gives the pointers of where we should be going. What the Minister of Finance also articulated on this platform also gives the pointers of where we are headed. And I'm rather surprised and taken aback when I hear that policies of black economic empowerment militate against the growth of our economy. That I find quite surprising, because I work from the starting point that our economy was held back over many years by the racist policies of the past. Those racist policies prevented all South Africans, or the majority of South Africans, to play a meaningful role in the economy of their own country. They were brought in, black people were brought in as hewers of wood and drawers of water. And they were just brought in as laborers. They were not even seen as consumers. They were not seen as active players in the economic landscape of our country. With democracy, what has now been happening, and what we seek to see happening, is the opening up of the economy, the broadening up of economic participation, which, if you observe, Honourable Dr. Mulder, you will actually see, and it's right in your face. You know, in apartheid South Africa, if you looked, for instance, at adverts for commodities, you would never see a black person being made to advertise either soap or milk or anything. Today, every advert you look at has got black people, because it's now been realized that it is black people who are the consumers. and they are economic players. Now, those who would want black people just to play the consumer role are truly mistaken. Black people must play a productive role as well. So I am really baffled. I'm baffled by people who still hanker for policies of the past. And to have you, sir, saying black economic empowerment is holding our economy back goes completely against even what the World Bank says. Now, this I find quite surprising, because what is known very clearly as well is that, and a few years ago, the World Bank and the IMF came up with a report that one of the things that holds South Africa's economy back from growth is the level of concentration. Concentration, because they said the ownership of the economy is in far too few hands. Ownership has not spread. That is what the World Bank and IMF said. And that is precisely what happens in other countries. When you go to other countries, you'll find the citizens. I mean, in Africa, it will largely be black people. Wherever you go in the world, it will be the citizens. Now, in our country, it was just the few privileged, and may I continue to say white people, who continue to own the means of production, who continue to own the productive economy of our country. Now,
you took them to America.
Now, this I find very worrying. I find it very worrying that we continue to have this notion that BEE is the one that's holding our economy back. It is the partial and exclusive ownership of the means of production in our country that is holding this economy from growing. So, what we seek to do, as set out in the Equality Clause in our Constitution, to redress the imbalances of the past. If we accept that the ownership of our economy is imbalanced, the clause on equality in our Constitution seeks to undo that, to redress that. So therefore, ownership of our economy should be broadened. And I can tell you, Dr. Mulder, there's nothing that gives our people joy, particularly black people, as they go around and they find that this production facility is owned by a black person. It warms one's heart. It makes us feel so good, because we've come from a horrible past when that was not allowed by law, where people were arrested. If you wanted to set up an economic facility in town, you were put to jail. But today, we are saying all that must be put behind us. We must allow more and more people to play an important role in the economy of our country. And this is what baffles me by those who are opposed to black economic empowerment. I say, what do you want to see happening? Do you want to see black people continuing to play the role of laborers, drawers of water, hewers of wood, and consumers only? Why can't black people be made to own productive aspects of our economy? Why can't they be rich as well? That is what needs to happen. Because it is when they get to that level. Dr. Mulder, you look at the Afrikaners, the history of your people. If you look at the history of your people, they were held back by the English. And with later days, they were enabled. They became more and more economically empowered. And they became economically empowered due to the policies of apartheid, the laws that were put in place, the sweet deals that they were given, and they started getting more and more into being serious economic players. Why can't the same be done for black people? Why? And this baffles me. Really, I don't understand it, because to me that is the normal thing to do. You need, as a nation, to say, this group has been disempowered. It's been disempowered, we need to empower it. Like the approach we have now, the rural areas of our country have been disadvantaged, and we're seeking to direct more and more assistance and empowerment to the rural areas, so that the rural areas also come up. Now, anyone who will tell me that that is wrong, really, I think they must have their heads examined, because that cannot be the case. So, my answer, therefore, is our objective is to spread economic participation broadly. And I will hold on to the argument that the more we have previously disadvantaged people playing a role in the economy of their own country, the better it is. Because then we're able to bake a much bigger cake so that everyone participates in having the cake. Thank you very much.
Because we don't have.
Thank you, Honourable President. Could I again ask the members on the platform to please make sure that your devices are muted? The second supplementary question will be asked by the Honourable Makubela.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Your Excellency, Mr. President, you mentioned that the medium-term development plan responds to the objectives of the basic minimum program of the GNU. Correctly so, Mr. President. How then will you ensure that the government that you preside over, which is the government of national unity, ensures that the three main strategic objectives of the MTDP are correctly financed and there is adequate budget allocation towards the minimum program, which is aligned to the MTDP? Thank you.
The Honourable President.
Thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker. That is a very good question, particularly after the presentation of the budget. If you look at the budget as presented, it is a growth budget, much as a number of aspects or platforms have been scaled down. It is a growth budget. And a clear demonstration of why it is a growth budget is the allocation, for instance, for what we believe will drive the economy, the infrastructure spend. Over many years, our infrastructure spend has been going down and down, and wrongly so. And we've now made a clear commitment. And this has also been largely after doing quite a lot of research on finding new and innovative methods of funding infrastructure. We have for the longest time been held back by the constraints that we've always believed in, that the fiscus is so constrained that we cannot be more ambitious. Now we're becoming more ambitious and saying, yes, there are other and new funding methods. For instance, the Minister spoke about launching an infrastructure bond, where we are going to be able to attract private investors to buy an infrastructure bond so that we can build now. And obviously we'll service the bond as we move on. And it becomes a bond that is traded, and there are other new methods also. Front-loading funding, there are PPPs that we will enter into, there are build, operate, and transfer processes that we will embark upon. So a plethora, or rather many, funding methods and opportunities are coming to the fore. And that is why we characterize this budget as a growth budget, and also a distributive budget, where we are able to distribute a little bit more to our people. We would have wanted to do much more if we had more firepower or better financial resources. So attainment of what we've set out in our statement of intent is precisely how we want to fund this budget and fund our ambitions going forward. And I do believe that we have the capability to do so. And our growth ambitions are beyond what is being projected now. We want to grow our economy at a higher level, and sitting down in the next few days as the Government of National Unity, to properly structure our real growth path and what we need to do, either to curb spending that is not necessary, to save more money, to channel resources into what is productive and what will have an impact, is precisely what we're going to be focusing on. So I think we are on a good path, a path that is going to lead to greater growth going forward. Thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker.
The third supplementary question will be asked by the Honourable Burke.
The President, you've answered the first part of my question relating to our ambition to exceed economic growth forecasts, which of course for the next 3 years averages 1.6%, according to Treasury. And we in the DA are committed to a GNU that does in fact grow the economy. So the balance of my question is whether you intend to drastically accelerate the policy measures that are pro-growth.
The Honourable President.
Honourable Burke, as you are being applauded for the question that I've already answered, the answer to the remainder of your question is yes, we are determined to foster policies that are going to promote growth. And that is the strength, in my view, of the Government of National Unity, because it brings together different viewpoints of 10 political parties working together to a common objective of growing the economy of our country. So I see us going beyond the statement of intent, buckling down with various parties that are also supportive of the work that is being done by the Government of National Unity, and focusing on growth, because in the end, growth is what really matters. It is the economic life of our people that really matters more than many other things that we keep talking about. So we are going to focus on policies that are going to foster growth. So I would say bring them on. Let those policies come on. And I'd like to hear more, especially from you as well, because you seem to be full of ideas. Thank you, Honourable Chair.
The last supplementary question will be asked by the Honourable Maimane.
Mo Presidente, ke a dumelana le wena gore maAfrika Borwa a sokola, bontsi ba bone ga ba bereki, ebile ikonomi ya rona ga ya gola ka tsela e tshwanetseng ka go tsega teng. Ke amogele leeto la go ya ko Washington. Mo Presidente, potso ya ka ke, given the fact that there's been no relatively new policy shifts in the last 10 years, despite Operation Vulindlela 1 and Operation Vulindlela 2 having read the medium-term development plan, what I want to know, Mr. President, is that post you coming back from the US, in 48 hours, the Minister of Communications tabled regulations that seem to do away with the equity aspect of BBBEE. Now, Mr. President, you and I both agree we need foreign direct investment. So what I want to understand from that position, that of the tabling of the new regulation, is whether the same will be extended to South African companies so that we can improve our gross capital formation. Because we can obsess about GDP.
Thank you, Honourable Maimane. Your time has expired.
Let's obsess about investment, Mr. President. So I want to know if you are changing that regulation.
Honourable Maimane, your time has expired. Honourable President.
Thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker. We expect that our growth path going forward will be a combination of various initiatives, interventions, and without steering away from the key tenets of our Constitution. Our Constitution is very clear. We've come from a horrible past which we even addressed in our Constitution, in the Equality Clause, where we said we need to recognize what has happened. Our preamble speaks to that. Our Equality Clause is quite clear that in order to foster equality in our country, which is a noble objective, we need to take a number of measures, legislative and otherwise, that are going to redress the impact of what was done in the past. So as we move forward, we are going to need to address those terrible legacies of the past as we grow our economy. And what we seek to do is to grow an inclusive economy, not an economy that exclusively focuses on the growth of a particular group, but we want an inclusive economy that focuses on the growth of all and focusing on those who were right at the bottom of the step ladder, so that they too can move up to the top of the step ladder. So to do so, we will need to take into account where we come from, what our Constitution says, what our laws say, and be able to move forward in a very determined way. Thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker.
Question number 11 has been asked by the Honourable Mente. Your point of order.
Yes, Deputy Speaker, we haven't received an answer on who are those gentlemen seated there in the chambers.
My apologies, Mr. President. Yes, indeed, I have just received it, so I will gladly read it to you. Those gentlemen are protectors, and that is indeed in the gallery, although not clearly delimited, and that will be done in future. Thank you. Honourable Mente.
No, Speaker, can we do a proper demarcation, because this side is the House. Anyone who's not a member sworn in can't be on this side of the House. They must go sit there. We're members of the House here. We've been searched there. We're not carrying any firearms. We're not going to shoot anyone. Can they go sit that side and not sit with us this side? Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Dugmore.
But whose protectors are those, Deputy Speaker?
Honourable Pambu, I did not recognise you. Honourable Dugmore.
Thank you very much.
Please recognize me.
Honourable Dugmore is on the floor.
Yeah, thank you very much, Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker, this is a point of order. I believe that you have provided an explanation, and I think that if there are further concerns about your point about demarcation, this is a matter that the Rules Committee can discuss. I really don't think it's an issue that needs to be dealt with now. The explanation has been given, and I think that's adequate.
Thank you, Honourable Dugmore. That is what my ruling would have been now, that this matter be taken to the Rules Committee. It can also be discussed at the Chief Whip's Committee.
Honourable Speaker.
Honourable Maimane, is that a point of order?
It's a different matter, Honourable Speaker. It's just the President did not answer my question. He gave a similar response to the previous one.
Honourable Maimane, you know full well that it is the President's prerogative to answer the question in the way that he sees fit, and you can write to the President if you have any further clarity. Honourable members, I have now ruled on this matter. I'm not taking any. Honourable Chilinga, no. Honourable Member, this is now the second time that after every ruling I've made, you want to challenge the ruling. You know how to challenge the ruling. It is not here. Honourable Member, I do not recognise you any further. We will now proceed. We will now, Honourable Makaula, Honourable Members, I have now ruled on this matter, and I cannot entertain, in terms of the rules, I cannot entertain any other further comments on that particular matter. Honourable Member of the EFF, what is your point?
It's a separate matter, Speaker. You just said they are protectors. Who are they protecting? They are protectors of who? Didn't tell us.
They are the protectors of either the president or the deputy president who is.
So you don't know.
No, but you must be certain, Speaker.
You must be
Honourable
specific.
Pambu.
Are they
We don't
protecting
know
the
who are they
president or
protecting.
protecting the deputy president? We can't just have people
Honourable
here in
member, I'm
parliament
not
and we
now
don't know
in
who
a
they are.
discussion with you. I can obtain whether they are indeed the president's
Please
protectors
obtain,
or-
Speaker. Yeah, we
If
want to
that will
know.
make you
Everyone
happy,
who's
we
there
will
must
do
be
that.
accounted
Honourable
for.
Pambu,
Everyone
I
who's
have
there
not
must be accounted
recognised
for.
you.
I asked to be recognized.
I will recognise you now. What is your point of order?
Deputy Speaker, there mustn't be people in the House there who are not accounted for. You can't just say they're protectors. Who are they protecting? You don't know.
Honourable Pambu,
You are a presiding officer. You are the
Honourable
one who's in
Pambu,
charge
you
of
are
that
now
house. But
dealing
I'm
with a
making my
matter
point.
on which I have now already expressed myself.
Yeah, but we're
Could I
calling
please
for a point
ask
of
the
order
Chief
on
Whip
you.
of the EFF to instruct your members on the actual
No,
rules?
you can't tell
of
our
the-
Chief Whip
Honourable
to
Pambu,
instruct
I am
me.
now
The Chief
cautioning
Whip will
you,
instruct me.
Honourable Pambu.
Point of order, Speaker.
Makula.
Point of
Honourable
order, Speaker.
Makula, Honourable Malema, your member is on the floor.
Thank Deputy Chair. Mina ngisuka eNanda, angigadwe emuntu. What about here? Nani kusho ukuthi angize nama protector army kabazongada la.
Honourable Makula,
Ungagadwa kanjani emzini wakhe enganeni zakho?
I have already ruled on this matter. I do not entertain further
No,
discussions.
abaphume laba
Honourable
baye emnyango.
Makula, we will now proceed. I will obtain the information whether it is indeed the Deputy President's protectors or the President's protectors. Honourable Paulson, I have ruled on this matter. Honourable Makula, Honourable Makula. Order.
The President's hand have been up. Please
Honourable
recognize the President of the EFF.
Honourable Klangwini, I have not recognised you. We will now proceed with the next question. Question number 11 has been asked by the Honourable
I said point of order and you said you recognize me.
Honourable
I said-
Malema. What is your point of
So what-
order?
why
Is it a
what
new
you are
point
doing?
of order?
Why? Let me speak. Don't ask me if it's a new point of order or not.
Yes, I may ask you whether it's a new point of order.
You will
You don't
rule,
have a speaking
you will rule on
opportunity.
it. Allow me to speak. You are not going to do that thing of marshalling us as if you are marshalling your gardeners. You are
Honourable
not your gardeners.
Malema, I am
Listen
cautioning
to me,
you.
kids. I want to speak.
No,
Listen to
Honourable
me.
Malema, I will not listen to you if it is not a point of order or a point of privilege.
I said
you know
point
the
of
rules.
order.
Honourable
I said point of
Malema,
order.
I am
Point of order.
good. What is your point of order? Refer me to the rule.
The point of order is you can't say the president has got a right and a prerogative to answer the questions the way he likes. He doesn't have such a prerogative. He's duty bound to answer questions to the satisfaction of the members of parliament. Because this is not just passing time session. That's where we're going to get proper, real, legitimate answers. So if honorable member says the president has not answered my question, you cannot answer that for president. President must decide whether he has answered that question or he thinks he can do much better. You can't say he's got a prerogative. He doesn't have.
Malema, if you can point me to the exact rule and wording that states that it must be to the satisfaction and liking of the member, I could consider it. But at this point, you did not, and there is no such specific recommendation in the rules or stipulation. We will now proceed, and Honourable Malema,
No,
I have
but-
now dealt.
no,
Honourable
Speaker.
Malema, I have now dealt with the matter.
Yeah, you must also refer me to the rule that says he's got a prerogative. Why do you want people to show the rule and you don't show
Honourable
the rule? What
Malema,
equal-
I have now ruled on
You
this
are-
matter.
You are an elected person like all of us.
Honourable Malema, I'm cautioning you. You will be removed.
You can't question me. I'm removed already. What do you mean you can
Honourable
question?
Malema, I am now going to remove you
You've
from
been-
the
you've
platform.
been bullying
Table
TFF
staff,
here
if you
with
can
your
please
racism.
remove the Honourable Malema from
Your
the
white made
platform.
them bullying the EFF. You think your whiteness gives you.
On a point of order, Speaker. Deputy Speaker.
Honourable Pambu, I have not
On a
recognised
point
you.
of
We
order,
will now
Deputy Speaker.
proceed. Honourable Pambu, I will
I'm
not
not-
recognise you now.
I'm
We
raising
have
my
dealt
hand.
with
I'm
this
raising a
matter.
point of order.
We have been
Honourable
raising our
Pambu,
hands
we will
here.
now, and Honourable Klangwini, I'm cautioning you now. We will now
Point of
remove
order,
you from the
Deputy Speaker.
platform.
Deputy Speaker, order.
What is your
Can
point,
you please
Honourable
bring
Member?
back the president? Why are you removing the president? He was still on the podium. Please.
I have removed him
Bring back the
because
president.
I've cautioned
Please.
him.
What you are
and
doing is wrong. This is not your house.
Please remove
Please.
that member on the
You can't just do as you
Shikawa.
please.
Honourable members, we can continue and you will all be removed. Honourable Mente, what is your point of order?
Speaker, you have started again with your unfairness. We took this matter of you, and it was particularly you that said a minister here has a prerogative, and we took that matter to the rules. We deliberated on it for the whole night. We left here early hours of the morning talking about that, and we said it must never happen again. It's still happening, and you are saying people have got prerogative. There is no such a thing. We took it to the Rules Committee. I'm a member of Rules. We deliberated on that, and we said it must not. Members of the executive, including the president, they must account, they must answer questions as they are asked. Because the next thing the president can stand up and say, I don't want to answer. And you're going to say, he has answered, he doesn't want to.
No.
If the member says a specific matter has not been dealt with, that specific matter must be dealt with to the satisfaction of the member, because we represent the people here.
Thank you,
We
Honourable
don't
Mente.
represent
You
ourselves.
have made your point. Honourable Skosana.
Yeah, no, thank you very much.
On a point of order,
Honourable
Deputy Speaker,
Tlangwini, there is someone on the floor.
I've been raising a point of order even before
Honourable
him, and
Tlangwini,
you
I have not
recognized him
recognised
before
you.
me.
Honourable Skosana, please proceed.
Yeah, no, Deputy
are such a
Speaker,
bully.
we acknowledge the matter that is raised by Honourable Mente. However, the rules in their current form, they don't stipulate that, as you correctly indicated earlier, that there's no section when you requested Honourable Malema to refer you to the specific section and clause that says a minister or a president or a deputy must answer to the satisfaction of the member. So we don't have that in the rules. As much as the rules committee debated the matter, but the rules have not been amended. So we're using the rules in their current form. So that matter doesn't stand. Deputy Speaker, thank you.
Indeed. Thank you, Honourable Member. Honourable Members, I'm not going to entertain any more points of order. We will now proceed with the matters of the House.
On a point of order,
Honourable
Deputy Speaker,
Ntlangwini,
I have been.
What is
I
your
have been-
specific point of order?
I have been calling a point of order even before this member,
Now,
and you're
please
not going to
proceed.
tell me. You're not going to tell me how to speak, when to speak, and how to say it. What I want to say. One. There is, members have been pointing out there's protectors in the house with firearms. You don't even stop the house and let those protectors be removed. So you have now opened the house to say that protectors can come in with their firearms. So why are we not stopping this house that all of us go and get our protectors and our firearms? Two, the president have not answered the question. He has not answered the question. He is running away with answers the whole afternoon, and you have been shielding him in holding him to account to answer questions. What is this that we are busy with?
Honourable Tlangwini,
We are busy
thank
with
you very
question
much.
time to
Your
the
point has
president
been
in
made.
a-
Honourable
for 3
Tlangwini,
weeks in
your point
advance.
has now been
And
made. You are now
are
making a whole
keeping the
speech.
president from
I'm now
not
recognising
answering
the Deputy
questions.
Chief Whip of
You are
the ANC.
bullied. You want to keep and shield this man
On a
from
point
not
of order,
answering
Deputy Speaker.
questions.
Honourable Tlangwini.
You are bullying the whole.
Honourable
Thank you
Tlangwini,
very
I'm
much,
cautioning you.
Honourable
Please
Deputy.
remove the
The whole
Honourable
afternoon
Tlangwini
they've
from the
been bullying
platform.
us. Will not tolerate this bullying
Please
tactics
remove
of
the Honourable Tlangwini from the platform. Honourable Lakude.
Thank you very much, Honourable Deputy Speaker.
No. Deputy
Honourable
Speaker.
Pambu,
Tlangwini
I'm
no.
now
But
cautioning
I've
you,
raised
Honourable
my
Pambu.
hand.
This is now the third
but
time
Deputy
that you
Speaker,
are not
Deputy
recognised.
Speaker, I
Please
have
remove the
raised
Honourable
my
Pambu
hand.
from
You are
the
recognizing
platform.
people before me. What?
Please remove the Honourable Pambu. Yes, Honourable Lakude.
Honourable Deputy Speaker, I want you to invoke Rule 69, gross disorderly conduct. Rule 69 says members may not engage in grossly disorderly conduct in the House and its forums, including deliberately creating serious disorder or disruption. This is what is currently happening in the House. There are members who keep on disrupting, not even acknowledging your rulings. So if the members are not happy with the responses by the President or your rulings, they know what to do. They must write to the Rules Committee. That's where these decisions will be taken. The rules at its current form, we don't have any rule that specifies that you must force a response that will satisfy anyone. So we are currently using edition 9 of the rules. Thank you very much, Honorable Des.
Thank you, Honorable Klakudi. Honorable Member,
Deputy Speaker.
Honorable Member, I have another
Speaker.
member, Honorable Dlamini, I have another member on the floor.
Please recognize me after that member.
Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker. On the issues of the protectors, you already made a ruling that you decide on the demarcation in the future. So that matter should not arise, so your decision must be respected.
Thank you, but I have already ruled on that matter. Honourable members, I am not now recognising any further points. Honourable Dlamini, I am not recognising you. You are, as the Honourable Dlakudi has indicated, very close to falling foul of Rule 69, and we will now proceed. Please remove the Honourable Dlamini from the
Honourable
platform.
Honourable Speaker,
recognize members of the EFF. It's very wrong what you are doing, Honourable Speaker.
Honourable members of the
Can you please
EFF.
recognize members of the EFF?
Don't call us members
Please
of the
recognize
EFF.
members of the
Honourable
EFF.
member, I have now
It's wrong what you are
dealt-
doing.
Honourable
We're
member,
members of
wrong.
Parliament
It's
of the
Honourable member,
Republic of
I am
South
now
Africa.
cautioning you.
Recognize members of the EFF.
Honourable member, please. Honourable members, I am not recognising any more members because these matters are now very much in line of gross orderly misconduct. Honourable members of the EFF, I have now ruled I am not going to entertain these matters any further. We will now proceed with the right of members who have submitted questions, and what you do not understand or perhaps not realise, that there's a limited time to the questions that can be asked. You have another question that has to be asked. It will not be asked in time because you are wasting time. You are now going to not allow one of your members or be prejudiced one of your members not to be able to ask the question that they want to ask. So please take that into consideration. We will go up to 5 o'clock, and that is in terms of the rules. Honourable member, I will not recognise you now. I have now ruled.
Speaker,
And it is
please
time that you do
recognize us.
respect the House.
Please recognize me, Speaker.
I have said, Honourable Member, I am not recognising any points now. We will now proceed with the business of the House. Please remove the Honourable Mylola.
Please recognize me.
Please remove the
Deputy
Honourable
Speaker, please
Mylola. You
recognize
are now
us.
disrupting the House.
I recognize us, Speaker.
Please remove the Honourable Mylola.
Honourable Deputy Speaker. Honourable Deputy
Please remove the Honourable Mokwele.
But Speaker, why are you removing our
Please
members,
remove the
Speaker?
Honourable Mylola.
Why are you removing Honourable Mailula? Is it
Because
against the
they
rules
are
to raise on a
now
point of order?
in contempt of the chair. And I will then remove you. Honourable Member, you are now in contempt. I have said I do not recognise any points of order now. You also, Member. We will now proceed.
Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker.
Point of order, Deputy Speaker. This is
Honourable
the
Member, we
chief
will
of the
go
EFF.
through all of you because
Can
you
you
are now
recognise
in
me, please?
contempt.
Deputy Speaker, I'm raising on your point of privilege, please.
Deputy Speaker, can you recognize me,
Honourable
please?
members, you will now be removed from the platform. You are now impeding in the work
Deputy
and the
Speaker,
rights
can
of
you
all the other
recognise me,
members.
please?
No, I'm not recognizing you. I have indicated that we will now proceed, and you are now
But
in
it is
contempt.
wrong what you are doing, Deputy Speaker.
Honourable members, you
Issues
can
have been
take that
raised
to
here.
the Rules
You
Committee.
have people that are not known in
Honourable
the House.
members, table, please remove Alderman.
Deputy Speaker, how do you remove the chief from the EFF? They are removing the chief.
You are not going to do
They are
that.
removing the chief from the EFF and telling you assist you, Deputy
You
Speaker.
are not
Deputy
going to do
Speaker,
that.
Speaker, we're going to assist you. Let us assist
We will
you.
now
That's
remove
on
you.
your privilege.
Honourable Nolachungu, we will now remove you from the platform.
No, you can't remove
This is
me.
not your house.
All of them.
This is not your house.
I'm raising on the point of privilege, Deputy Speaker. It's not a
You're
point
not
of
a
order.
dictator.
I need a point of privilege, please.
We're not going to allow you to turn this house into a dictatorship.
Honourable
Deputy
Lekapi,
Speaker.
you will
We're not
now
going
be
to allow
removed
you
from
to
the
turn this
platform.
house into a
Deputy
dictatorship.
Speaker.
No.
It's very wrong what you're doing, Speaker.
Honourable Mente, I am not.
It's
now
wrong
taking
what you're
any
doing,
points of order.
Speaker.
Please remove those
We're
members.
calling order on you.
You're removing me
Order
for what?
on you, Speaker. Order on you.
It's not me.
It's very wrong what you're doing.
Also, the whip of the EFF.
That's why EFF is losing support. EFF is losing support because of your chaotic behavior.
Shut up, nonsense. You shut up.
We're not Dagmo. You think we're
Honourable
in a
members,
why are you losing
support when ANC? Deputy Speaker.
Honourable members of the EFF.
This is how they behave.
Honourable.
You are abusing your powers, Speaker. You are abusing your powers, Speaker. We're calling order on you. You are abusing your powers.
Honourable member.
Targeting members of the EFF. You are targeting members of the EFF here. It's very wrong what you're doing, Speaker. We're not going to allow you. We're not going to allow you to do that. It's not a dictatorship here. It's not a dictatorship.
That's why the EFF
You said
is
you want to
losing
tell us
support.
who are they protecting.
The EFF is losing support because of your
Honourable
behavior.
members, we will now proceed.
Speaker, you said you're going to get back to
Honourable
us.
Niaus, I have said that I will not take any further points of order.
You can't tell us what to
You are not going to make up your own rules here.
Those
You can't
protectors
tell us
must
what to
go.
do.
Honourable Lepape, you
We're
will
not
now be
going to allow
removed.
you to make up your own rules.
Those protectors must go.
Honourable member.
We're not in a military state here. This is not a military.
Honourable member. Indeed, it is not. So please stop behaving as if it is like that. Honourable member, please leave the chamber.
No more.
Use your powers.
You are abusing your powers.
Speaker.
I've been raising my hand
for the past 10 minutes.
We
For the past 10 minutes, I've been raising my hand.
abusing your
Can I be recognized, please?
Honourable Mokhale, please leave the chamber.
I am not going.
Sergeant at Arms, please assist the Honourable Mokhale to leave the chamber.
Speaker.
Punt van orde, adjunct speaker.
Please.
Speaker, you said you are going to get back to us in terms of who are these people protecting. You are the one who said that.
Honourable
You have
member.
not done so.
Honourable member, at what point did I have time to do that with you taking points of order every time?
Please find out. We want to know
Honourable
who are they
member.
protecting.
But would you then allow me the time to do that? Well, thank you very much.
How
Why
long?
would you
After how long?
protect a toothless dog? Why would you do that?
Whilst I'm waiting for that reply, we will proceed. And please, Honourable Sergeant or Sergeant at Off, please remove the Honourable Mokhale. Thank you. We will now go to Honourable Chairman. No, I'm not taking any further points of order. You are now in contempt.
Deputy Speaker, can I speak?
Honourable Motwedi, you were supposed to be removed from the platform.
For what now?
Because I said no further points of order. Honourable Pambu, I have ruled no further points of order.
This is Honourable Tambo.
Pambu, yes, sorry, my apologies. Pambu was on the platform. Yes, Honourable
Yes,
Member.
thank you very much. I think we must register our displeasure, number one, on the presence of security personnel here, which you said you'll get back to us about, and you are not doing so. You are removing members one by one. That's the first point. They are not democratically elected to be here. And if the president feels unsafe with his own colleagues, why is he sitting on that podium? Why doesn't he address us virtually? Because we were elected with him in the 2024 elections. He's bringing protectors here to protect him from whom? It's grossly disorderly. It's not representative of a democracy that is peaceful, that has political tolerance. That reflects him fearing us as political parties. So why is he continuing to do that? Those protectors must leave the house. And the second thing, Speaker, your conduct today reminds us of Baleke Mbete, reminds us of the one who's in court now, Nosviwe Mapisa Ngakula. And speakers who have conducted themselves the way you've conducted themselves have been remembered badly by history. You are protecting misconduct. You are protecting irregular things in this parliament by having securities here sitting with us. Ask them to leave, or ask the president, who's their principal, to ask them to leave. We are not feeling safe or comfortable having people here who are not elected here. Ask them to leave and we can proceed
Honourable
peacefully
Member.
with the proceedings of this House.
Honourable Member, thank you. Honourable Members.
Honourable Deputy Speaker.
Honourable
Deputy
Members.
Speaker, on a point of order.
Honourable Member, I am on the floor. And you have now referred to the matter, Honourable Tambu, that at this point, that you now see the presiding officer as the same as other presiding officers. The fact of the matter is, Honourable Member, that this is about two-way respect. Whether you respect yourself, the House, the other members. You cannot not respect the House and expect of the presiding officer to ignore it. We have rules. So it is a two-way relationship. I have said earlier that I would, Honourable Makaula, you are now doing exactly what I'm talking about. I can't hear what you say because you're shouting. Honourable members, I am on the floor.
Sorry,
I
Chair.
have said,
Get respect. Uyasithuka lo usamagwala.
Honourable member,
Ngicela ukhulume naye.
I will deal with that matter now. I have, Honourable Chair.
Nathi sizoza-ke nabantu
Honourable
abazosigada la.
Honourable Nkola, I have said right when the matter was raised by the Honourable Paulson that I will inquire who the two gentlemen are. I have received a reply that that is indeed part of the gallery, although not clearly demarcated. Then there was, Honourable Paulson, then there was another question on whose protectors those are, which I will find out, but you do not give me the opportunity to do so, because you have points of order upon points of order to the fact, or to the point that you have now disrupted the House and we have 35 minutes left for two questions. So my apologies to the rest of the members who have submitted and prepared their questions, but we will not go beyond 5 o'clock, which is stated in the rules. Honourable Member, what is your point?
Deputy Speaker, the problem is that you keep going back on your undertaking not to entertain any further frivolous points of order.
But why are you speaking? Why are you speaking? Are you not undermining the Speaker's ruling yourself?
Honourable Member, Honourable Tambo, I did not recognise you, and please switch off your
He's
microphone.
complaining about...
Who's been falsely accused of not answering the question. He's not being given that opportunity. I ask that you stick to your
Why are you allowing
Rule 69
Why
as
are you
referenced
allowing
by Honourable Zakude.
Honourable Member, I have ruled on that. Honourable Members, I did not refer to those points of order. Honourable Makula, this is now enough. I did not refer to frivolous points of order. It was a matter that members were raising points of order based already on a ruling that I have made, which is against the rules. So that was my point, because it was going over and over on the same matter. Honourable Chirwa, I'm not going to recognise you now. I am on the floor. We will now proceed. Honourable Kaula.
Honourable Deputy Speaker, I've been waiting for you to recognise me.
Honourable Member, I cannot see who you are.
Ndicela recognize Deputy Speaker. Andingo Honourable Chair. Ndicela recognize. Ndicela ubuza into yokubana kutheni ukhupha ii-members ze-EFF phayana kwi-virtual platform bonke nabangathethanga abaphakamise izandla zabo abafuna uthetha wena uba recognize phayana. And kudala sikunike ixesha elininzi maybe iphelile i-hour apha sibuze uba ngobani abayana. For wena into yokokubana uthi akhange sikunike ixesha elaneleyo lokuba ukhangele into yokokubana ngobani abayana ayonyani leyo. So ke ngoku ndicela into yokokubana usixelele i-hour iphelile wena ukhangelana nabantu thina masihlale i-hour apha eParliament sihlale nabantu esingayaziyo uba ngobani kuba wena okokoko i-hour le uyabaza aba bantu ngobani na and uthi asizithathe serious.
You are now making a speech. I have removed those members on the Honourable Member. Honourable Member, you are now making a speech. Honourable Member. Honourable Gilisha, I'm now cautioning you. Honourable Gilisha, I'm cautioning you, please leave the chamber. Honourable Gilisha, please leave the chamber. Honourable Member, please leave the chamber. Honourable Member.
Deputy Speaker, I'm still
Sergeant
waiting
at
for you
Arms,
to
please
recognize me.
remove the member, assist the member to leave the chamber.
Deputy
Honourable
Speaker, I'm
members,
still
you
waiting for
are
you to recognize
indeed
me.
now, my apologies on the platform, but your own members are now interrupting you. Honourable Gilisha. I am not taking any points of order now because you are now going over the same matter. And no, Honourable Member, I have now ruled, Honourable Mente, I have now ruled, we will not proceed on this matter. I will get information whether those protectors are the presidents or the deputy presidents.
For how long? For how long, Chair? It should be a quick process. How long are we going to have unknown people? This is not a military state. Are we in a war here that the president must be protected? Are we in a
Let's
war?
remove people who are speaking without.
Are we in a war? What is the president scared of? Are we in a war here?
Shut up, you! Shut up, you!
President, what are you scared of? What are you scared of?
Are you all contesting to be Julius
deputy, Lonzi? Is this a military state?
removing all our members from the platform?
But Speaker, I'm still waiting for you to recognize me.
Abusing your powers.
Speaker, I'm still waiting for you to recognize me.
Honourable Lonzi.
I've been raising my hand. I'm waiting for you, Deputy Speaker, to recognize me. My hand has been up for almost an hour.
Fighter Lonzi.
Deputy Speaker, if you are unable to preside over this meeting,
Honourable
maybe you might
members,
vacate the chair and give it to someone
Honourable
else.
members
Because
on
we've
the
been raising our
platform,
hands here, you don't want to recognize
you are
us.
now interrupting the proceedings, and I am therefore ruling that you will all now be removed from the platform. So
Who is
that
on?
proceedings
Speaker, I'm
can
asking for you to recognize me.
proceed.
That's all I'm saying.
My
I'm asking for you
reply
to
to the
recognize me.
question on the protectors. Honourable Mente, would you give me the opportunity to reply on the protectors? Thank you so much. Honourable members, we will now proceed. Honourable Mente, we will now proceed.
No, Deputy Speaker, you have removed Mushala, Mkondo, Matulelwa, and other members of the EFF that have not spoken, that have not unmuted themselves without you recognizing them. And you now just said you are going to remove everyone on the platform. There's no such a rule, and that is wrong. Please allow all the members of the EFF back on that virtual platform because they did not say anything. Please allow them back. They need to participate.
Honourable Member, my
Yes.
apologies. I said that they will be, I wanted to say they would be muted. That is to keep the House in order and to proceed.
No, but that is not also allowed. It's in the rules.
Then please take it
You
to the
allow
rules.
people to participate. If you
I
don't
am
feel like
now
they must speak,
muting
then
them.
you tell them that
I'm now
you
muting
are not
them.
going to
Honourable
allow them to
Tandu,
speak.
we
But
will
you
now
can't just
proceed.
mute the
Honourable
platform.
Blackmore.
They might as well be.
On a point of order,
But who recognized you,
and I want to
Comrade
quote-
Dagmo? Who recognized you? We have our hands up here to
I
want
have
to-
recognized him. I said Honourable
want to
Dartmoor. I
quote,
have not yet recognized him.
Rule
Speaker,
69,
Speaker, my
which
hand
our
has been up
Deputy
for half
Chief
an hour.
Whip
How do
raised
you
before.
recognize someone?
Rule 69. Ndiyafuna ukuthi ihlazo ye-EFF namhlanje, ihlazo. We do not need this kind of behavior in a parliament of the Republic of South Africa. And it's no wonder the EFF
Honourable
is
Dartmoor.
losing support election by
Honourable
election.
Dartmoor.
So I want to
Can I
ask
shut
for
up?
Rule
What
69
rule is that?
and that we have
What
an
rule is that?
investigation into this conduct which is bringing this House into a disgrace. That's all.
Honourable
Ihlazo,
Dartmoor.
Nina.
Honourable Dartmoor, you are not assisting. Honourable members, I will indeed refer this matter to the Speaker for referral to the powers and privileges for every member who was in contempt of the rules of this House, the procedures of this House, and the respect for the presiding officer. I will also refer it in terms of Rule 69, which is very specific and which the Powers and Privileges Act refers to. That will be done. We will now proceed. Honourable Tandu,
Thank you.
we are now proceeding because you are now interfering with other members' right to ask questions.
No, thank you, Deputy Chair. I think I'd like to first begin by expressing my appreciation for your ability to self-correct, because it means you have considered now that the presence of those strangers here was wrong. The challenge now that exists is that you removed members of parliament in defense of those strangers. Can we allow members of parliament who were raising the issue that we have now conceded to return to the House so we can return to the normal business of this state? They were removed in defense of those people.
Honourable
Those people
Member,
are now
no.
gone.
Honourable
Can we have
Member,
members of parliament return to the
no,
House?
I removed them because they showed contempt for the presiding officer. That is why they were removed. We will now proceed. Question 11 has been asked by the Honourable Modise Mpaya.
Speaker.
The question pertains to the President remarks during the official visit of the President of Ukraine to the Republic, wherein he expressed deep concerns about the continuing conflict in Ukraine that has led to the loss of civilian lives, damage to critical infrastructure, and the deteriorating humanitarian situation. And what practical diplomatic interventions will the Republic initiate within the multilateral fora to ensure the end of the conflict in Ukraine, and what engagements have been initiated with the Russian Federation to end the conflict? At last, Honourable President.
Speaker, I want to proceed, Speaker, but you said you're going to get back to us on who are those people protecting. That's all we're looking for, and then we can proceed.
My apologies, Mr. President. The one, as I said, was a protector of the President and one of the Deputy President. And now, may we proceed? Honourable President. Honourable President. No, Honourable Mente. Honourable Mente, you are now disrespecting the presiding officer. You are, and I'm now going to caution you because we are now proceeding with the business of this House. Honourable Member, I have just ruled on that I locked them out because of contempt for the chairperson or the presiding officer. Honourable Mente, we will now proceed. Honourable President.
Point of order, Deputy Speaker.
Honourable members, I have instructed that members
Deputy
on the
Speaker,
platform be muted.
Deputy Speaker.
Honourable members, I'm not entertaining any points of order. Honourable Mente, you are now in direct contempt of my ruling, and I will ask you to leave the House.
No.
Honourable
You must
Mente,
bring back the members you locked out because they asked who are those gentlemen.
Member Mente, I
You
have
just
now,
took those gentlemen out,
Honourable Mente,
confirming that we were
please.
correct. Yet our
Honourable Mente, I've said I have removed them because of contempt for the presiding officer. It is in the rules. Honourable Mente, please leave the chamber. Sergeant at Arms, please assist Honourable Mente. Honourable Member, what is your point? And may I also refer you to the rule that says that you may not intervene while a member is being removed from the House? I also want to caution the members of the ANC, please no comments. We will now proceed. The President. Honourable Makula.
Honourable Deputy Speaker, South Africa remains steadfast in its commitment of resolving the Russia-Ukraine conflict. We continue to advocate for the inclusion of both parties in initiatives that are aimed at ending the hostilities. We have, as South Africa, consistently urged the parties to engage in negotiations in a spirit of cooperation and compromise. Our government has emphasized the importance of achieving an unconditional ceasefire accompanied by goodwill actions that would be seen as confidence-building measures to facilitate de-escalation.
House Chair.
Honourable President, my apologies. What is your point of order, member?
The first problem, Chair, here is that I raised my hand and then you said to me, I cannot interrupt whilst a member is being removed from the House. I then said to you, no problem, I'm going to wait. And you said you're going to come back to me. And you did not come back to me. And you went back to the President. And that's what you've been doing with other members as well, even on the virtual platform, where you note members, you don't go back to them, and then you say they're in contempt of you, of the House. Or
Honourable Lonzi, I did not recognize you just before
you did.
President. In fact, I replied to you and you were quite satisfied with the reply that I gave you. Honourable Lonzi, we will now proceed.
House Chair, can you provide us with the list of these members that you are saying were in contempt? Because we have the strong view that your definition of contempt, based on this simple explanation I just gave you, is extremely flawed. And you are very impatient, Chair. I don't know why you are so impatient.
Honourable Lonzi, that is now not a point of order.
Can you please
Honourable Lonzi, if you do know the rules and if you do know the powers and privileges procedure, you will know that a list of names will be attached.
Attached to where?
To the charge. So, Honourable Lonzi, that is not a point of order. It is dismissed and we will now proceed. Honourable
Point of
Tando.
order, Chair. You say they are going to be attached to a list of charges. Which charges? Because you still have to refer the matter to the Powers and Privileges
Yes, it will be in that letter to the Speaker.
But they are the ones who
Tando.
formulate charges. You are predetermining the process. Which charges are their names going to be attached to?
Honourable
The
Tando.
charges must be developed by the
Honourable
Powers
Member,
and
that
Privileges
is not a
Committee.
point of order
when
for
you
now.
say attached to the charges, you...
Honourable Member, you are now also absolutely disrespecting the presiding officer. There will be a list of names attached to the letter to the Speaker, which might lead to charges. Honourable Lakude.
That's how you should have phrased it.
Thank you very much, Honourable Deputy Speaker. I think we need to be protected as members of Parliament. There are members who pose questions to the President and they are waiting for him to respond. I want you, Honourable Speaker, to invoke Rule 69, which says, I'm reading the sub-rule now, members may not repeatedly undermining the authority of the presiding officer or repeatedly refusing to obey rulings of the presiding officer or repeatedly disrespecting and interrupting the presiding officer while the letter is addressing the House. With this sub-rule, Honourable Deputy Speaker, this is what we have been subjected to as members of Parliament by the two honourable members of the EFF. So we want to be protected. And what I want to put on the table right now is that now is 16:42. 5 o'clock, the President will not go over 5 o'clock to keep on responding to questions. We cut off. Question time is 3 hours. That's all, Honourable Deputy Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable Lakudi. That is what I said a bit earlier, that you are now infringing on the rights of other members who have submitted questions. And you are quite correct, as I've also said, this matter will be referred in terms of Rule 69 to the Speaker for referral to the Powers and Privileges Committee. Honourable President, please proceed.
As you wish, Honourable Deputy Speaker. As I was saying, we continue to call for an unconditional ceasefire, which will help to facilitate the de-escalation of the conflict that is taking place and initiate a genuine process of dialogue and negotiation amongst the parties. And South Africa calls on the parties to adhere to the principles of the United Nations Charter, including the peaceful resolution of conflicts and respect for the sovereignty and territorial integrity of states. We are deeply concerned about the impact of the Russia-Ukraine conflict across many parts of the world. We support initiatives that ensure that food and energy security for African countries is secured or implemented or embarked upon, as well as the safeguard of global supply chains. South Africa will continue to actively participate in all initiatives, including the Africa Peace Initiative that took us to Ukraine and Russia, and also the joint group of Friends of Peace to support a negotiated and peaceful settlement of the conflict. Engagements with the presidents of Russia and Ukraine have occurred and continue to occur on several occasions, both in person as well as via telephone. In-person meetings with President Putin include the Africa Peace Initiative meeting which took place on the 16th of June in 2023 in St. Petersburg, and a bilateral meeting on the margins of the BRICS summit in Kazan in Russia on the 22nd of October.
Just a quick one, Chair. It's for your
There
assistance.
isn't
as
something like a quick one. Honourable Lonzi, I did not recognise you.
Chair.
What is your point of order?
Oh,
What
it's
rule?
it's in a very constructive manner. Can you keep quiet?
Honourable Lonzi.
Chair, the people on the virtual platform are muted, all of them. So can they be
Honourable-
unmuted so that they can be able to participate in this session? I'm not disrupting.
Honourable Lonzi,
All of them are muted.
Honourable Lonzi,
including those who are not removed.
Honourable Member, if they are on the platform, they can still raise their hands. They don't have to switch on their microphones. Honourable Beasley.
Thanks, Deputy Speaker. The people deserve better than this Parliament, Speaker. There are so many people unemployed at the moment looking at these people and they're saying this is absolutely chaos. It's chaos. People deserve better. People deserve to hear from the President. He's got valid questions to ask. 500 people are losing their jobs every hour. It is unacceptable.
Thank you, Honourable Beasley. The point is taken. Honourable Member, I'm not going to take any further points.
Deputy
Honourable
Speaker, when he
Skhosana.
refers to these people, who is he talking about?
Honourable-
He said these people. Who are these people he's talking about?
Honourable Skhosana, what is your point?
Yeah, Honourable Speaker, my point is that you have made a ruling several times on this matter. Can you please allow the President to respond and don't entertain any hand that will be raised, either in the House or in the visual platform? Clear that members are raising frivolous points of order just to interrupt the President.
Honourable Skhosana, no, I know, and I've ruled on that. But there are members who show absolute contempt for the presiding officer, and that is why they will be referred to the powers, to the Speaker for referral to the Powers and Privileges Committee. Honourable Paulson, is that if that is not a real point of order, I will also ask you to leave the chamber.
Speaker, with all due respect, Speaker, a point of clarity. The member said these people. I know what these people mean. I know how racists like to refer to black people as these people. So I want him to clarify what these people. What?
Honourable Paulson,
Sit down for what?
Honourable Paulson, you speak through the Speaker, and I will have to consult the Hansard, so you're not going to go into a discussion or argument with a specific member. It is a point of order that is raised to the presiding officer, and I will then deal with it. Honourable President, please proceed. Honourable Mkaula. Honourable Mkaula. Honourable Member. Honourable Member. Order. Mr. President.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Speaker. I was referring to the various engagements we've had with the leaders of the two countries through face-to-face meetings, telephone conversations, and engaging.
Point of order, House Chair.
Honourable Lonzi, I am now cautioning you. You are now raising frivolous points of order, and I'm going to ask you to leave the chamber because you are interrupting proceedings.
No,
Please
no,
leave
Speaker.
the chamber, Honourable Lonzi. You are now interrupting business of this House. Please leave the chamber.
Chair, you don't know what I want to say.
I am now
It's on a
ruling
very
because you
separate
are
matter from this one.
You are interrupting proceedings now. You are frivolous. Honourable Paulson, I will also rule that you leave the chamber.
It's on a separate matter.
Honourable Lonzi, I have now ruled.
What are you ruling on? Because you don't know what I have to
I
say.
have now ruled because I said no points of order. We allow the President to continue with his question.
You can't rule that there will
Honourable
never be
Lonzi,
point
please
of
leave the
order.
chamber.
Which rule are you referring to, Chair? Because I'm saying I'm raising a
Sergeant at
separate
Arms,
point.
Please assist the Honourable Lonzi.
I'm not
to
repeating this point. I'm raising a separate point.
Sergeant at Arms, please remove
I'm raising
the
a separate
Honourable.
point here, Chair.
I have ruled no points of order while the President is now completing
You're very
his
impatient
answer.
today. I don't know why.
Honourable Lonzi. Honourable Paulson, you should know the rules that you may not interrupt while a member is being removed from the chamber. I am now ruling that there will be no points of order. We have exactly 10 minutes left. You are now seriously disrupting procedures. Honourable Paulson, I have now ruled. Honourable Paulson, I have now ruled. Honourable President, please proceed with the answer.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I was saying that we've continued to have engagements with the leaders of the two countries, Russia and Ukraine. And I must say that the engagements have been meaningful, and we've had deep conversations about the whole process of peacemaking. And we remain hopeful that the conflict will be settled and that there will be an unconditional ceasefire and that peace will return to that part of the world. Thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker. Thank you.
First supplementary question will be asked by the Honourable Modise Mpaya.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Mr. President, I nearly missed an opportunity to ask you this supplementary question. Recognizing the Republic's long-standing commitment to non-alignment and peaceful conflict resolution, and given the complex geopolitical dynamics surrounding the Russia and Ukraine conflict, could you share with the House how South Africa is positioning its diplomatic efforts to not only encourage dialogue between the two parties, but also to strengthen global trust in multilateralism, and what specific contributions or outcomes our nation hopes to advance through these engagements?
The Honourable President.
Thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker. South Africa continues to implement its diplomatic or foreign policy, which seeks to ensure that we lay more emphasis on multilateralism and to strengthen the multilateral system where we seek to see various nations participating together and working together to advance peace around the world and to promote human rights. We have been very strong in insisting that
Deputy Speaker, ngenhlonipho, with your respect, please, my Deputy Speaker of Parliament.
I first have to recognize you, Honorable Mkaula.
Yes.
And what is your point of order?
Ngiyabonga, yes. Bengisho ukuthi akethu upresident ulale athi kuma kancane nje sasitshela ngezase Ukraine. Ngabe uthini ngalezi ngane zase Dalton ezu3 ezibulawe amabhunu egayisa ngemoto ethi
Honorable Mkaula. Your point, Honorable Mkaula, I'm now cautioning you. I know you only have 5 minutes to wait before you go home, but I could make it a bit earlier. We will now proceed. Honorable President.
Honorable Deputy Speaker, I must tell you,
Deputy Speaker.
I feel
Deputy Speaker.
I feel abused.
Deputy Speaker.
I really do feel
Honourable
abused.
members.
You didn't feel like that
Honourable
when
members,
Trump was
Honourable
abusing you in the White
Matiase.
House. Why didn't you feel
Honourable
abused in the White House? You're abused by your own colleagues in South Africa.
I'm here to
Honourable
answer
Abused you in
questions.
the White House, you come to call abuse here. It's wrong what you're doing, President.
Honourable President,
You were
my
abused with
apologies, but,
disinformation
there's
in the
a clear
White House. You
intention
accuse
to
us of
disrupt
abuse.
Proceedings this afternoon.
No,
Honourable
no,
Matiase, you have just come in. Are you the enforcement? You have just arrived, and now you have a point of order. What is your point of order?
Honorable Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker.
Please raise your point of order.
My point of order is you forced me off the virtual line and you compelled me to get into the house physically. That's the embarrassment you have brought to this house. There's a number of members who are allowed to be physically in the house. But because of your own decision to...
Honourable member, that is not relevant to the President's
to the discussions because...
answer right now. Honourable Matiase. Honourable Matiase. The question about who embarrasses who is an open question. We will now proceed. I will not recognise your point of order. It is not a point of order. It is a matter of discussion. And you can write to the Speaker about this. Orders have already been given. Rulings have been given. I will not entertain any further points of order from you, either from you, Honourable Paulson. We have exactly 4 minutes left. Honourable President. Honourable Makula, please leave the chamber. Honourable Makula, please leave the chamber. Sergeant at Arms, please assist the Honourable Makula to leave the chamber.
Deputy Speaker.
Honourable President, we have 3 minutes left, so it will at most then just be this answer of you, and then we will have to adjourn the House for the day, but I will refer this to the Speaker for further action. Honourable Makula, we will refer this for further action because these questions have asked and members have a right to hear the President replying to these questions.
We can give the President another 1 hour.
You have now, in terms of the Powers and Privileges Act, as well as the rules, prevented members from doing their work. That is a serious legal infringement, which we will address. Honourable President, if you would like to conclude, that would be most appreciated. Thank you. Honourable Makula, please leave the House. Honourable Makula, leave the House.
Thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker. As I was saying, we continue to pursue our policy of strengthening the multilateral system and ensuring that through that multilateral system we are able to resolve conflicts around the world peacefully and through negotiation and peace-seeking processes, where we work together with various bodies of the United Nations and regional bodies around the world, on our continent and elsewhere. And it is to this end that we, as a number of African countries, pursued the process of installing peace.
Honourable Makula. Sergeant at Arms, please assist Honourable Makula out. Honourable Makula, you are now in serious contempt. Honourable Makula. Honourable Makula, please leave the chamber. My apologies, Honourable President. Please proceed.
In pursuit of executing our policies, we interact with key role players, either involved in conflicts or in various regional bodies around the world. And it is this that continues to inform our foreign policy, where we seek to continuously work in accordance with the United Nations Charter and indeed with the various charters of various continents in our world as we make interventions. So with that, Honourable Deputy Speaker, I'm able to confirm that South Africa pursues its peace-building processes on an ongoing basis and seeks to work with various regional bodies, particularly with the United Nations. And thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker.
Honourable members, in terms of Rule 144, the total time allowed for replies has expired. I want to thank the Honourable President for his patience in trying to answer important questions that members have put. I also want to apologise to the members who have posed questions and who have now been denied answers. The outstanding questions or replies will be published and the Speaker will rule on what will happen next. I thank you, Honourable President.
History will note that this House descended in chaos because... Note that.
Honourable members, please stand for the presiding officer and the mace to leave the chamber. The House is now adjourned.
to disabuse us of this notion that when ministers have a discretion, they will use the discretion to ends that will not benefit the people as a whole. And I think the default response or approach should always be they are acting in accordance with the law and also to advance the interests of our people until proven otherwise.